in February of 2021, the TGA produced a document called the COVID-19 Vaccine Safety Monitoring Plan. This is it here. I've got copies if it needs to be tendered. But in broad terms, it was a document which the TGA spelt out the implementation plan for the monitoring of the COVID vaccines. And a couple of months ago, I asked the Senate to in order to produce documents from the TGA, documents including those showing the timely collection and management of reports of adverse effects, any safety signals, documents which show those, a timely action to address, and so on. Can you tell me about whether or not that monitoring plan was used, and were documents collected? Are those documents available, which I can spell out later?
Thank you for your question, Senator. I would say that the TGA has ample documentation demonstrating compliance with the principles and objectives of that COVID vaccine safety monitoring plan. And the 5 key elements that are articulated in that plan essentially describe the process of post-market surveillance and safety investigation that our medicine and vaccine surveillance teams follow at the TGA every day. Now, whilst there's no single specific evaluation report outlining or benchmarking us against the elements of that plan, there is ample information in the public domain which provides evidence of compliance with the plan and underscores our commitment to transparency as a regulator. Since the time that you mentioned, February 2021, since the start of the COVID vaccine rollout in Australia, the TGA has investigated 148 safety signals for COVID-19 vaccines. Updates have been made to product information and consumer medicine information documents on 57 occasions, representing regulatory actions taken by the TGA. The TGA's database of adverse event notification captures and reports on information reported by consumers, health professionals, jurisdictions in Australia. That's all publicly available, Senator. And in addition, the TGA has released a number of documents under freedom of information. There's been 70 requests directed toward our branch since February 2021. To summarise, I would say that each of those elements is evidence of us working toward the principles and objectives contained in that.
But there will be documents that aren't in the public domain that were associated with the plan. What I'm proposing to do is to put on notice the request for those documents and ask for an undertaking that they would be produced to the committee. Is that something that can be done?
There would be some difficulty in doing that, Senator, because as I said at the outset of my response, the 5 key themes outlined in that report essentially describe our day-to-day processes. This is our standard sort of process in terms of post-market surveillance and pharmacovigilance. So that there would be a vast volume of documents that would relate to our day-to-day work since February 2021.
Well, I don't think these are looking for vast volumes of documents. These are just documents which show that there are adverse events reports were being done, that all of the things that were being said in this document. This is a public document which, in its essence, was designed to give confidence to the Australian public that that this pharmacovigilance was taking place.
Senator Antic, can I seek some clarification for you?
Yes.
From you, sorry. Is this a document that you have in your possession?
It is. I have a copy.
And are you able to table that to
tender.
committee?
I have a spare. I can tender that, if that's all right.
Thanks very much. Just so that the officials can reference it.
Sorry, Chair.
Thank you.
If I might just highlight, Senator, and we have had this conversation with your colleagues previously. We do recognise that. I mean, Dr. Daskin's highlighted that we receive frequent and multiple freedom of information requests. We do endeavour to meet those. There are circumstances in which we are challenged in that. We are committed to transparency in our practices, as any public service operation should be. There are times when when that is made difficult for a number of reasons, and we articulate those in our decisions and the communication that's undertaken for our decisions. But I would just highlight that the COVID vaccines have been probably the most scrutinised and monitored therapeutic treatments that have been introduced in Australia in the last 50 years.
So with that, then there should be no difficulty with providing the documents to show that that scrutiny has taken place, that pharmacovigilance has taken place in accordance with the document that was produced in February 2021. Why can't they be produced to the Australian public so that people out there who are interested in this subject can make their own assessment with the greatest respect?
I might also highlight, Senator, as well, through the pandemic, we were putting out weekly safety reports, COVID-19 safety reports, which highlighted the number of adverse events that have been reported to the TGA. We then moved to fortnightly, but through the pandemic, I believe we put over 140 of those COVID-19 vaccine safety
There are a
reports
lot
out
of
publicly.
concerns about that process in the sense that it was deemed to be very complicated for adverse events that may not initially have seemed reasonable. We're also talking about 5 years down the track now, so there may be a lot of data that would be collected that wasn't during that period as well. So with the greatest respect, it would be my submission that these documents should be produced. I will put them on notice, the request for documents, and I'd ask that they do be produced. I mean, at the end of the day, we can take the TGA's views on whether there's too much, too many or whatever, but I think the purpose of the exercise, the purpose of freedom of information is to show people that what TGA said was going to be done was done. That's the purpose of the exercise.
Absolutely, and I concur with you entirely on that, Senator. That's the absolute purpose, and we're very happy to receive any request for freedom of information. The matter of the order to produce documents is obviously outside of our control.
Sure, but this is as a result of this committee.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're very happy to receive any request for documents through the appropriate channels, and indeed we've answered Senate questions on notice multiple times from this committee previously on those matters.